Hello, fellow Aussie investors. Welcome back to my channel and thank you for stopping by. Today, I'll bring you a special episode about investing in US stocks. With the market continuing to crash due to Trump tariff, a golden opportunity is still on the horizon for us Aussies to own valued US companies. I'm not here to waste your time. Today, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about why I think investing in the US stock exchange is a good idea, why I think the Trump tariff is temporary, why go beyond our own stock exchange and trade into Dow Jones, Nasdaq, and SP 500? Why I prefer to use Moomoo when I'm trading US stocks from Australia, and some tips and about a hidden fee that you may not know about. So stick around to the end to find out what that is. Let's talk about Trump tariff. Is there an end? I think so. It's simply not sustainable. But is the end near? Maybe not. At the moment, we're witnessing Trump running a hard campaign, hard policy. The policy is that by slapping China with these extreme high tariff, American jobs will come back to America. But tomorrow, you will see that China is his favorite country, next to US, of course. So we have to just bear with this inconsistency, this constant change narrative, and continue to go back to fundamentals when we do stock investment. And that is look at the balance sheet, look at the income statement, have a look at future growth of these companies, um, and put money when they are at the moment cheap. In other news, you will see that this bond market is not good. I think there's speculation that the Japanese and Chinese are selling US Treasury. Top hedge funds are pulling out of the US market due to uncertainty, and because of this tariff, recession is almost imminent. Look, all of that is noise that will come and go very quickly as Trump changes his tune. I couldn't find this picture, but there's a picture at the moment that before this Trump tariff or even Mr. Trump coming to power, when we do stock investment, we actually look at the sticks and candlestick. So, we look at things like this and up and down to work out where to invest. Now, stock investment is about just listening to Donald. So it has changed a little bit, but of course, I'm saying to you, go back to fundamentals. Here's a bit of my reason why I think it's advantage to go into the US stock market. You can see in this pie chart that the ASX or our market is only weighted 2% or even less than that. We, of course, in 2024 had amazing stories like Zip, grown almost 700%, Life 360, WiseTech, Zero, all great Australian businesses, and the list goes on. Even there's some of the established businesses done really well, like Commonwealth Bank, CBA. But when you look at the US Stock Exchange, they are just so massive. There is just so many more opportunities of value companies. I'm gonna pull out of a lot of names that you are familiar with. If you have invested $1,000 in Nvidia 5 years ago, uh, just as the pandemic hit, you would have made 20 times. So 1,000 will be 20,000. Imagine putting $5,000, you would have 100,000. This just doesn't happen in Australia, I don't think. If you look at Netflix, not huge. Um, 1,000 will be 3,000. But the story of Netflix is in July 2022, there was a piece of news that said Netflix had lost 1 million subscribers. Its share plummeted to as low as $170. Now it is trading near $1,000 per share. So that's about 10 times a growth. So again, you won't see that too much on the Australian Stock Exchange. And Netflix is one of the companies I like to invest in. I made a video about that as well. This company, Meta, look at the statistic: 3.35 billion active daily user, and that figure is continued to grow. Its net income is growing $20 billion for 1 quarter. To put that into perspective, the four big Australian bank makes 20 billion AUD, of course, in 1 year, and that's a good year. So it's a company. Of course, it has headwinds at the moment. You can see some of the Mark Zuckerberg's trying to, um, round support for an antitrust case that at the moment it has, not working in its favor. But still, Meta is one of those companies that it doesn't exist in on the ASX. You won't find a company like that. So those are the reason why I think it's very good time to enter the US market and have a look at those opportunities. Now, before I go on to talk about a little bit more of the platforms I use to trade in US stock, I thought it would be a good opportunity to ask you guys to leave in the comments what stocks on the US stock exchange that you're interested in. I think this is a great platform to share some ideas. Now, I've used all the three apps, Momo, Tiger, IG, and they're very similar. And I've listed 5 benefits, which is shared amongst all these apps. They're easy to use, no training required, very self-intuitive. Um, and then if you get lost, there are a lot of online tutorials on YouTube that you can have a look. Cheap, of course, I don't even actually look at the pricing when I buy a US stock, but I have here most cost 99 cents, and there's a fee calculator. Um, you can see here $155 per share. Let's say Google, you purchase 115,000 USD. It's a dollar to buy and sell, $1.50. They put a bit of a comparison to ComSec. So again, another big advantage. When I talk about fast, what I'm talking about is traditionally, if you've sold shares, let's say on a Friday, you potentially have to wait until Wednesday for the money to be available because that's settlement. Um, and therefore, in the between, you can't invest because you have no money in the bank. But when it comes to Momo, I know for sure is when you sell, the money gets credited into your account. Whilst it hasn't settled, which means you can't withdraw the money because it's not there available for you to withdraw, but you can actually reinvest straight away. So that makes sure that you don't miss it a good opportunity when there's a good timing to buy. If you're an option trader, they have obviously that particular option available. And the last thing is about flexibility. You can see here, if I bring up the Momo app, um, you can actually now trade intraday. So they offered a few extra time frames. So you see, as Aussies can trade the US market during the day. So if we scroll down here, you can see that normally I trade in intraday, which is obviously 11:30 p.m. When the market opens at 9:30 in US. But you can still buy and sell shares during overnight, pre-market, and post-market, and that makes it really, really flexible. All right, let's talk about the last topic of the day, which is hidden fees through conversion currency. Now, of course, if you want to invest in US stock exchange, you have to buy US currency. And when you change AUD to USD, you will need to be aware of the following. So I'll bring up my Momo app, which is quite good, and I'll click on currency exchange, and it will bring up a screen here, and you'll see now my figure's a little bit outdated on the PowerPoint slide, but they still should be workable. So you can see it's about 63 cents. If one, your AUD will get you 63 cents USD. So let's say I exchange everything. So $3,604 is what I have at the moment, and it gets me about $2,282. Now, let's just rip in and copy this figure, but and actually put in my calculator $3,604.08. So that's what I have right now in Aussie dollars. Now let's just turn the table and say, okay, let's change USD. So I'll change the USD of 2282 and 8 cents. You can see immediately I only get $3,541. So 3541 and 73 cents. That's $62 is instantly gone. So this is the spread that these apps make. Now, of course, you wouldn't be buying a USD and then changing it back straight away. But this is the currency gain, currency loss situation, and this is the hidden fee. I would encourage you guys to know this function, exchange history. So these are all the monies that I have exchanged over time, and you can see by clicking on it, you'll get a bit of uh, exchange rate sort of shown here. So you can see I obviously made a bit of currency gain. If I look at this particular transaction, 67 cents is the rate. And obviously now it's 63 cents. So meaning that I've made a bit of a currency gain. But if I exchanged it at 55, then I would have made a currency loss. All right, you've made it to the end. Now, if you like the content of this video today and wanted to see more, please hit that like button, subscribe, and smash that bell icon as I do updates every week with the latest news, trend, and stock recommends. Thank you very much for sticking by, and I'll see you guys all next week.